So welcome, I'm Meg and I'm the facilitator of the Watch Your Language 6-week immersion and the author of my book, Watch Your Language. I've decided to put together for my 6-week course online 6 yin yoga sessions that are starting, of course, just from a beginner level if you've never ever done yin yoga before. Because yin yoga for me was something that really helped shift my anxiety. It allowed me to be present with my feelings. It allowed me to sit with the shit and to actually recognize what was going on in my body and in my mind, and to actually let it in rather than push it away to run or to numb. So when we practice yin, we can find that emotions can bubble up. And if that happens, I invite you to grab yourself a set of tissues, to be with the emotion that bubbles up and to feel, to heal. This first yin yoga session is all about our hips and our hamstrings, and I'm keeping them really short, so about 20-minute sessions. And I really recommend doing them whenever you feel the mind or the body is too busy, or like myself, I really like to do these yin yoga sessions right before bed so that it shifts me into my ventral vagal nervous system and I sleep really well. So if you are interested in the next online Watch Your Language 6-week immersion, then get in contact with me through the link below and I can pop you on the wait list for the next 6-week immersion, which runs every 8 weeks, all online. So let's get started into our yin practice. Now, all you'll need is some sort of a strap. Now, it doesn't have to be a yoga strap. A dressing gown strap is good, or even a belt. So set yourself up with that. I'm, as you can see, not using any props at all for this first one. And I invite you to start your yin yoga practice in a seated position, whether that be on a bolster or a block or in hero pose. And we're just going to start with some breath. I want you to gently close down your eyes. As you close down your eyes, I want you to notice what it feels like to give this time and space to yourself, to actually land back in your body, to give yourself permission to pause, to give yourself permission to receive, and to give yourself permission to restore, to find some energy, and to look after your mind and your body. So to give yourself permission to restore, to give yourself permission to receive, and to give yourself permission to look after your mind and your body. Start to gently focus your awareness on your breath, breathing in for the count of 4, breathing out for the count of 4. Continue with that breath, just noticing the breath start from the belly all the way up to the lungs. And as you breathe out, feel yourself start to melt into the practice. Emmett Fox once said, "There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no disease that love will not heal, no door that enough love will not open. It makes no difference how deep set the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, or how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest and most powerful being in the world." Take one more breath in and a breath out. We're going to start our practice into our hips, coming into what's called deer pose. Bring your right foot, I'm going to sneeze. Bring your right foot on the outside of your left quad, or maybe not. And we come into this 90-90 position. Now, you might be different. You might need to sit up on a bit of a cushion for this, depending on how your hips are, but this is a relatively accessible position for many people and a very natural position for our hips. From this position, if you would like to, you're welcome to use your cushion or your bolster, but As stated, I'm going to do this practice without anything so that you can be assured you can also do the same. From this position, we want to fold over our shin forward. So if you have a cushion or a bolster or something, feel free to hold on to that. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just slowly start to fold forward. So this might be more than enough for you, especially if your hips are tight. But if it is feeling quite good for you, then just allow yourself to come down to the position where you feel the lock-on of tension. In yin, we really want to make sure we are coming down to what's called our 60% or our edge. It is not a forced practice, very, very relaxed. If you find you come into a position, you start to lock up or reach forward, that's not the practice of yin yoga. So I hope that over these next 6 weeks, I can really share the true practice of yin, which is surrender. It's a feminine energy and it's soft. So I invite you now just to fold forward over your shin. It is normal to feel uncomfortable, but we do not want to feel pain. As you drop down into these shapes, I'm going to offer a bit of an affirmation, simply a phrase that you can repeat to yourself while you're in the shape, so that it helps our mind move away from thinking. They say that mindfulness is simply shifting our thought to something else, and shifting it either to breath or an affirmation is one of the easiest ways to stay present. So closing down your eyes, I'm going to be here for another 2 more minutes. I invite you to repeat the affirmation to yourself. I choose to surrender and I give back to my body. I choose to surrender and I give back to my body. Close down your eyes and just allow yourself to melt. If at any time you find yourself wishing or wanting to be further forward, come back to the acknowledgement and the acceptance that where you are is exactly where you need to be. Keep your eyes closed, take 3 more long breaths here, breathing in for the count of 4 and exhaling for the count of 4. Last breath in. Stay for the breath out. Slightly engage your belly to your spine as you gently start to roll up. And from this position, just very, very gently, we're going to come back onto our hands, moving quite slow. It's super important to move slow. In yin, we don't want to move quickly as we're working with the connective tissue and fascia. When we come into the shapes, the connective tissue and fascia start to relax and let go of tension. By being still and breathing into the space, we start to neurally send a message to the area that it's okay to let go and loosen the grip. So it's super important to move slow through the transitions in yin, to take your time to let your body move through the transitions with a sense of care and awareness into the body. Let's set up for the other side. Noticing that it's a different hip. So you might need to sit up on a cushion, right? You might just be here and that might be more than enough. And if that's the case, that is perfect. It is not about as far forward as you can reach. It is about really leaning in and accepting, the fact of where we are is perfect in this moment. So taking a full breath in, and as you exhale, start to tip forward over your shin. And what you will notice is that one side may be a lot looser than the other. It's our hips. We've got different hips. So just let yourself land to that first point of sensation. And then I invite you shut down your eyes and surrender into the shape. Your affirmation for this side: I trust that I am exactly where I need to be. I trust that I am exactly where I need to be. And notice how good that feels as you repeat that affirmation to yourself. Let go of any tension in your hands, your jaw, your elbows, and do your best to soften. Just keeping your eyes closed, come back to your breath. About 6 or so more breaths to go. Our hips are a storage center for our emotions. They are part of our sacral chakra. So emotions, tensions, stress, worry, doubt, self-esteem, confidence. So if we are feeling any lack in these areas, or find that we are constantly in a state of stress and busyness or worry about fear of the future, we can hold a lot of that emotion in our hips, which affects our digestion, our lower spine, and of course we can feel bloated and things can get stuck. So I invite you now to visualize, just like water, this is the water element into our hips. Visualize this area moving in a sense of flow, fluidity and ease. Letting your digestive system move freely and create space. Take 2 more breaths here. In week 4 of the 6-week immersion, week 2 actually, we go right into the chakras and the energy systems of the body so we can get to understand where emotions are held in our body. Take 1 more breath. And breathe out. Very, very slowly start to come up. Take your time, there is no rush. Now this next shape we're going to go into before we come into our hamstrings is our adductors, and we're not going to be here for too long, especially if you're new to this shape. We're going to come into a straddle shape. Now if folding forward in a straddle shape is not for you, I recommend sliding yourself into a wall and allowing your legs to go outside on the wall. So coming into a supine position with the legs up the wall if a fold forward into your spine is not for you. So to come forward into this one, again, please bend the knees if you need to, and if you need to sit up on the edge of a towel or a cushion, it can really help the fold forward. So targeting now the adductors and into the groins, which can get really, really tight if we sit a lot in chairs. Our hip is a ball and socket joint. It is meant to move around the joint, not act as a hinge all the time. So taking a full breath in, and as you exhale again, we soften as we fold forward. This is with a rounded spine. So I'll get you guys to keep going and I'll show you from the side. So again, we want to have this tilt of the hips. Please stack up your hips with something if you need to. The end of a yoga mat is great too. You can roll it up and sit just on the end and that'll tilt you forward. And then as we fold forward, we are rounding the spine and just coming to the point of our edge. My adductors actually feel relatively quite open today. So this is quite different from how they felt last week. So it's very, very much a changing practice every day. Always come into your practice with a beginner mind. We're always learning, being curious, not critical about what shows up in the body. Allow yourself to soften, rest your head on a bolster, a pillow, or your hands, and close down your eyes and repeating this affirmation. I tune into my body and understand my body is my biggest teacher. I tune into my body and understand my body is my biggest teacher. The mind has wandered, come back to the affirmation in your breath. Instead of wondering how long we're going to be here for, come back to the words, I know I'm breathing in. And I know I'm breathing out. Give yourself permission to be. Take 5 more breaths here. Take 1 more breath in and stay for the exhale. Please pull the belly button towards the backbone. So you're looking after your lumbar as you very, very slowly start to peel up. No rush to come to a neutral spine. And only when you feel ready, just start to press into the hands, lean back slightly and softly bend your knees. As we make our way down to our backs, and you'll need to grab your strap. So again, dressing down strap is totally fine, but if you do have a yoga strap, I'm going to get you to buckle the strap. Keep it relatively long to start with, and we're going to create a loop. Now, those of you who just have a dressing gown strap, what you'll do is hold on to the ends like this, and we're going to stretch our hamstrings out. So it's going to turn slightly here so that I can extend my leg. So we want to start with this knee bent to start with and holding onto that strap, so enough to feel it into the hamstring of the right leg. I don't want to shake the leg, just enough to feel it. Those of you with a buckle, turn the buckle to the side, wrap the strap around your head like a headband, and let your head now rest into the space of the strap. And for those of you who feel open through their hamstrings and it feels safe, feel free to extend your left leg long. So just letting that head relax into hammock pose, or if you've just got a dressing gown strap, you'll be holding on. So we're just going to be here for just under 3 minutes each side. And your affirmation for this pose is, I understand tension only creates more tension. Tension only creates more tension. Taking 5 more breaths here, everyone. Breathe in. Breathe out. To come out of this, please rebend that bottom leg. And we're going to just change legs straight away. So putting the left leg into the strap, bring the right sole of the foot down to the ground. And if you've got the loop, then pop it around like a headband. Noticing again that this is a different hamstring. So really getting into the insertion point in the back of the knee and of course into the glute. And then if it feels okay, sliding that right leg out to create space. And allowing yourself to sit back into that hammock of your head, or you're gently holding on with your hands. Your affirmation for this side, I get curious, not critical, about what shows up in my body. I get curious, not critical, about what shows up in my body. A really beautiful opportunity in this pose to notice your breath. As you breathe in, feel your belly rise, your rib cage expand, and the lungs inflate. As you exhale, deflate the lungs, the rib cage, and the belly. Bringing yourself right back to here. There's an old Zen story about a gentleman riding his horse through the village. He was going so fast that all the locals came out onto the street and wondered what the hell he was doing. A local gathered the courage to ask the man. He said, "Sir, where are you headed so fast on your horse?" And the gentleman on the horse replied with, "I don't know. Ask the horse." Life can go by so quickly and we can get so entangled in the busyness, the striving, the perfection, the need for more, that we forget to come back to here. We lose our sense of self and look for the external to fix what's going on internal. We lose our connection to love. Take one more breath in and a slow breath out. Slowly making your way out of this shape. And just bringing your knees into your chest for a very gentle hug. When we move into overwhelm and stress or doubt or worry or fear, we forget so quickly to come back to our natural state of compassion, gentleness, and non-judgment. In every opportunity you can, take the time to pause. Ask yourself how your body is feeling, what emotion you're experiencing, and what is it that your heart needs? How can you come back to love? Start to extend your legs long now into your Shavasana. I'm going to keep these Shavasanas relatively short for the series, but know that I have plenty of other videos on breathwork, longer Shavasanas, and meditations. So we're going to spend 5 breaths here just down regulating, giving ourselves the space to pause, to breathe into a sense of gratitude and appreciation for your day. So breathing in the words, thank you. Breathe out the words, I am grateful. Of course, if you have the time, stay a little longer. Let yourself receive, let yourself nurture. Enjoy this space. For the rest of us, just bend your knees and gently roll to your left side. And I want you to take a moment here to really thank your body. So thank yourself for having 2 feet and a heartbeat, for actually getting to have today. Whatever today brought, I invite you to say thank you nonetheless, to see what it is we have learned, to see what it is we have grown from, and to see what it is we can be grateful for. Your own time, gently come up to seated, keeping your eyes closed or downcast. Take a breath in, pause, open the mouth and let it go. Bring your hands to your heart, honoring this space for yourself, for we cannot pour from an empty cup. Bring the thumbs gently to the mouth as you pay attention to the words you speak, for they become the house you live in. And the thumbs to the third eye as you honor yourself. Say thank you, and of course thank you from my heart to yours. Namaste. I hope you're feeling really good after that practice. Just short and sweet, a beautiful introduction to Yin. If you are looking for more or want to join me on the Watch Your Language 6-week immersion series based on my book, Watch Your Language, check out the link down below and I can pop you in as an inquiry for the next time that I'll be running the course. Thank you so much for your practice and I'd love to hear how you found that. Remember, as always, to watch your language. So